It's another day here in Florida, and I've been up for over an hour and a half, meditating in both the meditation room and the atrium this morning. It's not something I do very often. Usually it's one or the other, not both, although it does happen. And I got to hear the birds singing this morning in the trees above my house or outside of my house. Anyway, it's another new day, and today I'm going to talk about the ninth wave, and Let the Crown Tremble is the title. And I will say that after I did yesterday's video, I did go back and check to see which day the fourth day in this ninth wave cycle begins, and it was yesterday. I knew it was somewhere in the 20-something of the month, and I was thinking it was the 26th or 27th, but it was in fact the 25th. So yesterday was the first day of the leaf formation period in this ninth wave in the evolution of consciousness. Let the Crown Tremble, though, is the title of today's video. And let me explain what that means. I wrote, "The Crown is the city of London that is the center of worldwide banking, as well as the center of the Uniform Commercial Code and the bar associations. Whether the IMF, the BIS, or any other global banking authority, they all stem from the Crown headquarters of the empire that would rule the world. Let the people know the truth that cannot be stopped any longer. Let the crown tremble. This is the awakening." A few weeks back, it came out in a British court ruling that Queen Elizabeth, the current titular head of the British Empire and figurative holder of the throne of David in the succession of a line of kings and queens that dates back to Jerusalem, when David was made the king over the nation of Israel at that time. Anyway, Queen Elizabeth, it was revealed, did not take a proper oath of office and actually was not crowned sitting on Jacob's pillar stone, or the coronation stone, which has been called many things through the ages, but it is not indigenous to the British Commonwealth, and yet throughout the ages the British monarchs, whether male or female, have been crowned sitting on that coronation stone, sitting over the coronation stone. She is not a valid holder, it was revealed, of the authority to hold a rulership position on earth. It is a de facto rulership, a de facto monarchy, which collapses the crown and collapses the Uniform Commercial Code and collapses the bar, British accreditation or the British Accreditation Registry. I've seen it, the A stand for a couple of different things, but British Registry is always in there. It's the British Commonwealth still exercising control through the United States, through the Vatican, over the entire world. It is a deceptive rulership. And you need to know that what's happening in our world has ancient roots that go back at least 2,500 years. Actually, probably about 3,000 years to the throne of David in the Bible. Recognized, of course, by the Jews, Christians, and Muslims around the world. And I imagine the Hindus hold that in great respect, and knowledgeable Buddhists, in fact, knowledgeable people everywhere understand that there's been a divine drama that's been unfolding throughout the ages, and we're at the ninth wave pinnacle of that unfolding in today's year of 2011 in the Gregorian calendar. It's both an exciting time and in other respects a terrifying time to be alive. It depends on whether you're trying to hold the old world and the old status quo together, or whether you're looking for the changes that are coming that will establish the kingdom of heaven finally upon the earth, which will be a reign of peace and a reign of truth and justice. Truth and justice are not something that the crown embraces readily. For indeed, those that have been operating the system at the highest levels have had a game plan in their conscious minds of dominating and ruling the whole world. It's a domination system whereby they have deprived people of their rights through the people's ignorance, of course. But it has been a system of fraud that has been established through the banking system, through the legal system, through mainstream media, through the education system, through the world religions. I mean, it has affected, its tentacles have reached into every aspect of society. And there is nothing on this planet that has been untouched by the empire or the matrix that we are now becoming so familiar with and so aware of on a scale that is unprecedented in human history, as people wake up thanks to the internet and the communication that is unprecedented, certainly in recorded history, as we now have understood it. There's a greater history, I'm sure, that we're unaware of, but that's not what I'm talking about today. Anyway, I wish to God that I did not even have to deal with legal matters. I wish I did not. I look at the codes and read things in the law and learn about the law, and it's such a convoluted system. I mean, literally, you can find things that are written down as code that support diametrically opposed points of view. The bank's attorney pulled that on me by saying that I had 15 days. I go back and I look at the rule book. She's calling the orders that I'm challenging in the appeal, she's calling them non-final. And there are different rules for a non-final judgment compared to a final summary judgment. There was nowhere that the word final appeared in the judgments, in the summary judgments that I'm challenging in the appeal. None whatsoever. However, it's plain that when a non-final summary judgment has a finality to it, it is considered final even absent the word final in the title. And that was the basis for me filing the lawsuit, or I should say the appeal, as a final judgment, which gives me 70 full days to respond and issue my initial brief. I mean, it's right there in black and white in writing. I went back and I reconfirmed it because I had somebody yesterday that I was speaking with who said, no, you only have 15 days. I know that, she said. I know that you only have 15 days because I worked with a friend who was also appealing, and she was frantic trying to get it done by the completion of the 15th day. Well, there, I guess, is a 15-day period that applies to non-final summary judgments. Because they are taking my house, and because that's the issue that's at the center of the entire controversy, it is considered, by my point of view, a final judgment. And I operated under the code for final judgment, perfectly within the law as the law is stated. I have not yet responded in writing to the appeal court, which will be done fairly quickly within the next couple of days. And I will let them know that this is the truth, as I'm seeing the truth. I am more than willing, if the bank had lawful claim to my property, and I mean lawful claim, I would gladly relinquish my property. They do not have lawful claim from everything that I have learned and everything that I have comprehended in the law. There have been several laws that have broken. Now let me talk to you briefly about law and legal. The Uniform Commercial Code is a legal code. In many respects, it is an unlawful code. Why? Because under the legal code, things are required of people that are lawful, that are already lawful, like getting a driver's license, for example, like getting a marriage license, for example, like getting a birth certificate, for example. It's lawful to travel. It is lawful to get married and to take a spouse. It is lawful to be born. It is natural for all of these things to occur among human beings, among sentient beings. When the law, the legal system, requires you to get their permission to do what is lawful, the law, that code itself is unlawful because it's requiring something that is your natural right and violating your natural right in making the requirement. There are many other aspects that we're dealing with and that are coming to light in this generation as we consciously co-create the kingdom of heaven on earth. We actually bring it into manifestation according to the masters, according to Saint Germain's vision and the master's vision of the prophets and the seers down through the ages. We are bringing this into fruition in this ninth wave, and it totally comes into conflict with the Uniform Commercial Code and the legal system. The legal system is de facto. That means it only works under the color of law, the appearance of law. It is a fraud. It is a con game. That's what the matrix is, folks. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in my particular situation. People tell me it's just a house, let it go. It's not the house that's the issue. It is principle that are at stake. Principles of our very nature that define our very existence on this planet. And spirit will not allow me to just surrender and play victim again. I've had to do that other times. Now, I did get a further word that I heard initially that it was the Secretary of State of the Arizona Republic, and more recently that it's the Chief Justice of the Arizona Republic. In either case, the police, he gave up and publicly announced that he held no weapons, although it is his right constitutionally to arm himself, to protect himself against the government tyranny. But he disarmed himself and announced it. The police went into his house and shot him several times, killed him in his own house over the past week. This is how much the crown, and the crown is all of the apparent authority that we've been living under. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to come into my home and shoot me? I'm unarmed. I have been unarmed virtually my entire life, except for the period of time that I was in the Army and shortly thereafter, when I fired a weapon accidentally and almost blew somebody's head off accidentally, and I never touched a weapon again after that. It scared the living hell out of me. Okay? So I am unarmed. If you're going to come into my house, if you policemen think that you're serving highest good and you're obeying your oath to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, by fighting against the people from which your power is derived, you're totally mistaken. But I can't control that. I have no control over that which happens. I have no control over you coming by force and removing me from my home and stealing that which is mine by right of law, by right of trust. I have no power to change that. And I wish I didn't even have to talk about it. But I do talk about it because it's on my plate. It's in front of me, and I must respond. And I must tell the truth to people. And the crown and the authorities, the people at the very highest level know that the handwriting is on the wall, that their time is up. They know that. And the crown trembles. The authority trembles. And what they do when they feel cornered, they behave very ruthlessly in many respects. So I don't know where things are going. I've asked for divine protection. And that's something I very rarely do. Very rarely do I ask for protection. Because to ask for protection is to say I feel afraid. And there's a part of me that definitely does. Yet there's another part of me that's fearless. And I honor both parts because I live in a world that is polarized. And I recognize both energetic elements within my own being. And I honor both of them. I want to live honorably and truthfully to the best of my ability. And I'm doing so to the best of my ability. And I'm sharing with you to the best of my ability. This is the awakening, folks. Let the crown tremble and let the people go. That is the order from the highest reaches of the universe. Let my people go. And it is issued to the crown and to every aspect of the crown that filters down into the daily lives of men and women on every continent and in every corner of this planet. I've gone quite a bit over today, but it's important that I did so. Now, I will say before I close, some people don't like it when I talk about the legal issues. They think that's not spiritual, and so they don't want to listen to that stuff. Then there's other people that's what the very thing that they do want to listen to, and they're both my subscribers. I encourage you, whichever group you're in, to pay attention to everything, because, folks, it's all spiritual, and it all has to do with matters of law. Because we live in a universe, in a cosmos that, believe it or not, is ordered by law. And divine justice is happening in this ninth wave. And this is the second day of the fourth day in that cycle. Namaste. May God bless you. Thank you.